Hi, folks. Welcome to the third of BritTrack's reviews of the Doctor Who 60th anniversary specials. We are broadcasting not only on Facebook, but on YouTube and Twitter as well, because we finally got our streaming services sorted out. My name is Brian, and I'll be your guide tonight. Over here to my left, we have the indomitable Caro, our director. And then underneath me, we have Miss Angela. And then to my lower angle here, we have Mr. Andy. Say hi, everyone.
Hi, everyone.
Hi, everyone.
Excellent. So, that third episode. Oh, my God.
There is a lot going on.
There is a lot going on.
A lot.
Can I say that I was annoyed with the accents? I just wanted to get this out really early.
You're just talking about that. I know. Boom. It's Travis again. Hey, Trav. You've officially been here for all three, so you now have a nickname. So
we were talking about
I agree.
that,
Angie, you were saying?
Sorry, Angie, go ahead.
Yeah, that like Neil Patrick Harris. I mean, I don't remember which scene it was, but he just kept switching accents, and it was like, just stop, pick an accent, stay with it. Be British, be German, be American. Just choose one.
Exactly.
Those accents were actually written into his script.
Yeah. I know.
Yeah.
I mean, it was consistent enough that it wasn't. You could
It's
tell
not his
he
accent.
wasn't just dropping the.
Yeah.
It was just the.
No, I think I agree with you. They were really bad.
Yeah.
The German one was probably, I think, the worst. I had to apologize on behalf of fans.
I was okay with the minute. Just be consistent with whatever accent you're going to use.
Mm-hmm. That's true. I wonder. I mean, I guess like it's supposed to show.
Are we
the
having
complexity of him?
What is that?
The Wi-Fi here may be stressed. Elizabeth is doing
Our Wi-Fi?
maybe.
Yeah, but we have a really good streaming signal.
Anyway, continuing.
Technical difficulties, folks. Gotta love them.
Yeah, I don't know. But no, this episode was great. Before we started, I was chatting with Rob about don't cross the streams. I know, right?
That's good advice in streaming and in men's bathrooms.
Yes.
So we were talking about the episode and starting from the very beginning. There's so many nods to like different things that of course we notice over the course of it. So spoilers if you haven't watched it yet.
Yeah.
We're talking.
Oh yeah, spoilers to this whole thing, guys.
We're talking about the Giggle, specifically the third installment of the 60th anniversary specials. So I will say that, going into the specials, I had very different expectations because I think we had the 50th and it was so riddled with guest appearances. And as I talked about in the last two, like I was really expecting to see more. But we did get a couple of, previous people. But honestly, I mean, isn't it a great pilot episode for the Unit spinoff series?
How many pilot episodes has that spin-off series had now?
I don't know, like 8 or something. I don't know. But I for years, my number one thing I've always said, and yes. Everybody knows this if they hear me talk about Doctor Who, is that my favorite part about Doctor Who is Unit. is the concept of it. I was head over heels in love with Torchwood. We know that RTD obviously wants to do something else with it. And since Torchwood's kind of just like gone the way of the dodo, I think that we're set up for some really cool stuff. I mean, I think going into the unit facility, I think having the other alien there as a source of support, and now you're probably going to have, Tenet or 14 popping in and helping out every once in a while.
Oh, it's brilliant how they did that. I'll save that for later.
But no, but I mean, like it is. There's a lot of it's really thoughtful, writing. But the episodes opens up with parts that I can only watch once because I hate dolls. I am not a fan of dolls. It is nightmare fuel. I am good. I had the whole, puppets like crawling everywhere. Being creepy. I'm good. I'm good.
But you didn't like the puppet slowly melting in a fire?
Yeah.
Laughing at you?
Not needed.
That wasn't horrifying at all.
No, it wasn't terrifying.
Giant David Tennant puppet.
Yeah.
Giggling, Andy. Giggling.
Oh my God. It's so I know it's just not, I'm not a fan. So, as I was watching it for like the third time right before this aired, Rob was laughing at me because I kept like puppet part, that's a bad puppet, evil puppet. And I was skipping forward, hitting the skip button because I'm going to go to bed. I want to sleep tonight. So, I mean, we got the nice creepy factor in at least an episode of the specials, but we also, it's kind of almost like now that I've seen all three, I feel refreshed in that it didn't follow the formula of the 50th. But I don't think I felt that way going in. I think I was really disappointed that we didn't get more out of it. But now that I've seen all three, I feel satisfied. Mm-hmm. How do you guys feel?
I particularly missed Martha in this unit-centric episode, but I mentioned that last time too.
I love that Mel came back.
Yeah.
She was woefully underused in the classic series. Of course, she was redeemed in the Big Finish audios, but in the classic series, she was a computer expert who never got near a computer.
True.
So at least this time, she's using her skill set. So, and I'm looking forward to, because I don't think Tennant's going to be in the unit series. No. They're going to bring in other past companions.
Yeah, I mean, I think maybe, hopefully Bonnie Langford will stick around, and be in it for, a few episodes. And getting to see Kate again was great. I loved when she hugged him. That was like I was like, yeah, that's what all fandom wanted was that hug. And it was a great, like, full body bear hug. And it was something that the Brigadier would have done, like, I think he might have saluted him.
Yeah.
He might have saluted him, but it would have felt the same. The feeling would have been as nostalgic as it was. I think, one thing that we should talk about is, Neil Patrick Harris, like, hands down, amazing. Did an incredible job. I will say that the accents were a lot.
See, I actually kind of enjoyed it.
I mean, and again,
I think it served a purpose.
I didn't mind him talking in accents. It was that it was changing. And I don't know if you know this, I'm sick. And I'm having
that's all right then.
I know. So, like, having to switch frequencies to understand another accent while I'm sitting there, that just bothered the hell out of me. And it could have been because I'm sick.
Fair. That's fair. Well, I'm sorry you're not feeling well.
I'm sorry you're not feeling well too, Angie.
I feel fine. I just can't hear now.
Because of the accent?
Because the accent. So start talking in a German accent, and I'll be like, what?
Right.
Yes, but you need completely different ears for that.
Okay, what?
I said,
But,
you
you know,
need German ears. You need
But
German
no, yeah.
ears, and German accent.
But he was a lot of fun.
It was a lot of fun.
It was
I
great.
mean, I think anything that Neil Patrick Harris touches is gonna be fun.
Yeah.
And to get to see him in a darker comedic role, which he does very few and far between.
He's so good at.
He's
Dr.
so yeah, he did. I mean, Dr. Horrible is you get to see the vibe of that a little bit in here, and it's really, for those who are not familiar with it, you should go check out Dr. Horrible with Neil Patrick Harris, and it's worth the watch. It's very unique, and you get that kind of vibe, that sinister vibe that he's giving off throughout the entire episode from start to finish. I do think that some of the scripts was a little hard to follow, but I think that a lot of the conceptual things that are in it are more for classic series audiences in this episode than I think in the previous ones, because this is a callback to an old villain that maybe people
very old villain.
Right.
Neil
Rob,
Patrick Harris is not that old. Come on, guys. Don't be that mean.
but Rob, can you update us, because you're our classic series guru? Where did this character originate? And
So the toy maker was one of the first Doctor's nemesis, and actually he faced the first Doctor, Ben and Vicky, I think. Don't remember the companions exactly.
Because I went back and watched part of that episode. Yeah, Dan. Yeah, I can't remember if they ever said the name of the female companion that was there.
I think it was Stephen and Vicky.
mm-hmm.
And he was trapped in the toy maker's realm. And they went through, of course, all sorts of things, running up and down corridors and all that. But at the end, the Doctor played a game with the toy maker and won. And so they were released from his realm. And now, 50-something odd years later, the toy maker is back. But
apparently they had talked about bringing him back a couple times in the past, but it never.
Mm-hmm.
Like the original writer pitched it for Tom Baker, and then they turned it into something else.
Mm-hmm.
They actually plan to bring it back for season 23, which was going to be Colin Baker's second season before it was put on hiatus, and they did the Trial of the Time Lord. And that story was going to be called The Nightmare Fair, which was going to get into more about the history of the Celestial Toy Maker. It has since been novelized by Target, and it was turned into an audio adventure. Buttercup, my cords are not to play with.
Oh, come on.
So I'm wondering. I'm like, I wasn't aware of that. And then what?
It's like following, and then I was like, oh yeah, that's his cat's name, Buttercup.
I think it's an 8th Doctor comic book too, right? Toy Maker.
I don't remember. I wouldn't.
Because I saw some speculation leading up to this, wondering if this would be based on the 8th Doctor comic, the way that I've already blanked on the name of the cute evil alien, but you know what I'm talking about from the last one.
Meat.
The meat.
But I haven't read that comic, but it exists.
I don't have all of the classic comics. I'm working my way through them. As you can see,
Why not?
Because I'm not made of money.
What?
But I have
I'm
this.
just shocked that there is classic Who paraphernalia with which Rob is not intimately familiar. You've shattered my illusions.
You know,
I'll never meet your heroes, my friend.
but no.
Yes. So but I would not be a bit surprised that if the maker came back in the comics.
I hope so.
He's kind of written. It's kind of perfect for comics because then you can do anything with them.
Mm.
He's certainly perfect for the age of CGI.
Steven and Doda. Thank you, Travis.
The companions. Fun fact: this is the first time a companion appeared in a miniskirt.
Steven was in a miniskirt.
Well, you know.
60s, man.
But no, I mean, I think that like we get this character, you know, that's something we love about RTD is he's really good about bringing out some obscure stuff. And, you know, we've gotten a few here and there callbacks from other showrunners. You know, we had the Sea Devils, for example, who are my favorite. And, you know, it's interesting that you have this return of this very iconic, very classic villain. And on top of it, the villain is got another villain inside his tooth.
That was a nice touch.
Which, I mean, like, how? I mean, I literally felt like I missed something. Like, did I miss an episode? Did I miss, like, there's something there that we get with RTD where he leaves. There's so many little like nuggets, like of, you know, pun intended, of, you know, the different things that we may get later. Like one of the things he, you know, one of the things that we considered is, do we know who picked it up? I have a theory. I know.
Now, Big Finish will have a 10-part adventure. The toy
maker.
The toy maker and the tooth, like how he ended up in the tooth or whatever.
Exactly.
Because that would be really good. And then it depends on actually like which master too is in there, like which version. Oh man, Roger.
I know.
That would be cool.
So
But don't just.
So I'm sorry.
Go ahead. No, I was gonna say I have a theory.
Let's hear it.
Okay, here's my theory. I think that it's Jinx Monsoon. I think it's her character, and I think there's been a lot of speculation that Jinx Monsoon is going to be a companion, but that's not been confirmed. And I think that Jinx Monsoon could possibly be Missy / Master. I don't know how they're going to be referred to in the show, but just if you go back and look at the costuming, the way, you know, the black and white, the callback to classic series Master, and I'm just saying it's possible. That's my theory. I'm sticking to it.
Well, I have a theory about brontosauruses.
What's that?
My theory about brontosauruses is that they're really small at the end, get really big in the middle, and then they're small on the other end.
What do you? Okay, so what do you guys? Who do you think picked it up?
I really don't have any theories. It was such a quick edit. Really, I think it's more of a. I'm not sure they know who picked it up yet necessarily. That's open, so it can be a variety of, again, because he loves planting seeds, right? And that's a very ill-defined seed you can populate any way you like as inspiration hits. And do we have any? Is there any indication of how soon we will get a new master?
I've
heard that it's going to be a couple of seasons. It might be.
I think it's
the last season before we see the master crop up again.
Yeah.
The last season?
Yeah. Because he's committed to doing 3 seasons.
Oh.
Yeah.
So.
Okay.
Now,
that's interesting.
My opinion on who, I'm sorry, I don't remember their name. On who you think is the new master. What's their name?
Jinx Monsoon.
Jinx Monsoon. This is a deep cut, but from the classic series, there was an enemy that we've never seen, but was mentioned twice, and that is the terrible Zodin.
Okay, explain.
In the 5 Doctors, when the second Doctor appears at unit and meets the Brigadier, he talks about the terrible Zodin. And the Brigadier has no idea who he was, but we don't hear anything else about
Yeah,
it.
they're interrupted.
Yes. And then in the Attack of the Cybermen with the 6th Doctor, Perry, the Doctor mentions the terrible Zodin again.
So maybe
I would love Jinx Monsoon to be the terrible Zodin.
Ooh, interesting. But we don't know anything other than the name.
Other than the name, and the Doctor's met them several times.
Interesting. Yeah, I do too. I agree with that. I think it would be really cool. I think we don't know where it's going to go, and then if that's the case, who is the one that waits?
There's a theory about that as well.
Okay.
All right.
Story time. A grab.
Rory.
Yes.
Is it
Rory?
Rory?
That's it. Rory.
That would be amazing.
That was Angela's first, like, ooh, they're talking about Rory. And I'm like, no, he's the last Centurion.
No, he's the one that waits.
He waited a lot.
But would Rory intimidate
Anyone?
the toy maker? Really? I mean, come on. Like,
I love Rory. I'm a big
And
Rory
the
fan. Does not fill anyone with dread.
He doesn't give up. He waits.
No, he's persistent.
I mean, that would be intimidating.
I mean, we have seen his grave.
But moving on, someone else's prediction of who the one who waits is.
Rob, who do you think the one who waits is that they keep talking about?
The popular theory is that it's Omega.
Okay. I don't know.
And who's Omega?
And Omega was a Time Lord, one of the 3 big Time Lords in Gallifreyan history, up there with Rassilon, who kind of sacrificed himself in order to make time travel possible. We met Omega in the 3 Doctors, which was the 10th anniversary special. We met Omega again in Arc of Infinity with the 5th Doctor, Tegan and Nyssa. And then we didn't see him again in the classic series. But in the Wilderness years, we got a mention of Omega in Remembrance of the Daleks, with the device that the Doctor uses, the stellar manipulator, is called the Hand of Omega. So a lot of people think that it's Omega because Omega is trapped in an antimatter universe behind a black hole, waiting.
Why?
Well, some say he sacrificed himself for the Time Lords. Others say that he was betrayed. He says he was betrayed. And he can't escape. He's tried twice. But that's what the common theory. We'll see.
Yeah.
And you're right. It does depend on who they threatened.
Okay. It's a lot of theories.
Captain
Jack, those nails were fabulous. I mean, he is the face of Bo.
Yeah.
That and we do know that RTD loves him. Fifth Doctor said he was a victim of his circumstance. Oh, interesting point. That's very interesting. So, I mean, it's there's so much stuff going on, specifically in this. I think it was more obvious in this episode.
Oh yeah,
and
felt that way to me. Yeah,
yeah, like it was more like stuff that stood out more. Set up more opportunities for various different things. I mean, obviously the unit spinoff is the big buzz because we know that's in the news. We know that that's coming. This has got to be the pilot origin, story of it.
Oh yeah.
But getting into the episode itself, we have.
I just want a cool theme song. Like K9, dun dun da da da, K9, dun dun da da.
Right. I know. I was like, where's K9? So I mean, it's gonna be interesting to see where it goes. It started off as a very dark episode, the Giggle did, and had a lot of different, avenues going into the actual toy maker's realm, and then exiting out of it. The creep factor was like very high, and then shifting into like basically a unit episode.
Can we talk about the dance number?
And then leading into the introduction of the, what was it, the Zinks, whatever.
Blinks.
Other alien. Yes. Which is kind of like the Farscape Moya show. I kept calling her. And because that's what it is. It's like they need that trope, I guess. It
made me think of
K9 spinning in the other in Sarah Jane, and getting help from this outside alien super intelligent source makes sense, but it's written in there. And then you get, what's interesting is Donna says that she doesn't have any of the residual memory or brain powers of the Dr. Donna. But let's be real. Do we really think that Donna would have been smart enough to figure out that it was a tune?
I mean, yeah, I think so.
If the plot demanded, yeah.
You think so?
Donna underestimates herself.
Yeah.
Yes.
And in that respect, her companion is like everyone else on the planet. We are our own worst critic. We underestimate ourselves all the time. So yeah, I think she was smart enough. Do I think it was a bit contrived? Yeah, but then this is RTD, Dr. Ex Machina.
Yeah, this is true. But we do get a fabulous spice of your life.
Oh, I loved that. Yeah.
Oh my God.
I was singing along.
It was so good. It was so good. I mean, it was just the ridiculousness that character needed. It was like, here you go.
Mm-hmm.
We get a little bit of it with them dancing and the tux at the beginning of the episode in the streets with all the chaos, ensuing around.
That's a hell of an entrance, though.
It really was. I almost half expected a flash mob, like just from all of the trailers, and video clips and photos before the episodes have aired. I was like, there's going to be a dance number. And I really did anticipate it to be in the street, like with him in that suit, but it wasn't. I mean, it was, and I love that he's a lion tamer and wearing, the Greatest Showman lion tamer esque costume.
He's a toy soldier,
right? He's a toy soldier. That's what the vibe I got. I guess it was a toy soldier.
That's what I thought too. Yeah.
Okay, well then I guess I'm wrong. But I just loved his costuming, and I just thought it was really cool that you had that. I loved the flowers everywhere. It was crazy, the petals, and the song, man, it was stuck in my head for like a good 2-3 days.
Oh, it's stuck in my head now.
Yeah, since we started talking about it, absolutely.
Exactly, yeah.
Yeah, it's very true. So I mean, I thought it was absolutely can we also take a moment to appreciate the music drop they did for That's true, it is Bob. Oh
my God, yes.
It's gonna be pretty good.
I'm so looking forward to the Christmas episode. Before we kind of move on to talk about Shooty's Doctor, I'd like to maybe go back a bit and talk about the puppet show that the toy maker did for Donna.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of explaining what happened to the Doctor.
Yeah.
And which was a brilliant bit of showmanship.
Right. And great product placement for the holidays.
And
When is that toy coming out?
Like we've talked about how this is sort of meant to be like an entryway of people who have maybe fallen away from Doctor Who in the last few years to come back and to catch sort of the high points of the people who may have tuned out after Tennant left or after Matt Smith left. That you can pick up some of the strong beats leading in. And it's also great for all the meme making. Has anyone else seen like 10,000 memes of the well, all right then?
Oh my God.
Yeah. I just think that when one of the things that is very fascinating, I think, about the BBC is they like to explain things to the American audience. Like they don't there's a population that obviously doesn't know about everything, and then there's another population's like, come on guys, seriously. And we got that with Matt Smith with the American release of the first episode. I have an imaginary friend.
Yeah, I hated that.
And hi Elizabeth. And we get that a little bit with this one a little bit, but I do like the way that it's done, and I want all those puppets. Those puppets don't creep me out, but the dolls do. I think
the
that
baby puppets kind of creep me out.
really
Sorry.
cool. So.
Oh yeah, we better make sure there's no puppets hanging behind Caro at DragonCon this year.
Those fighting words. I'm just saying.
I have a baby doll you can have.
We already had a corpse
Behind Caro this year?
No, in front of Caro.
Great, thanks.
You're welcome.
Uh-huh. But I just think that there's so many good things that were going on in this episode, and then we get the giant laser gun, because we got to have a giant laser space gun. Because why not?
Yeah,
that was a little much.
That was a bit much.
I mean, come on. Jumping the shark a little bit, but whatever.
I mean, you got to spend that Disney money somehow. They
spent it all on that gun on that platform,
right?
In the Avengers Tower. That's exactly where they spent it. I'm sorry. It's forever the Avengers Tower. I don't care what anybody tells me.
That's what it is.
Oh, yeah.
It's 100% the Avengers Tower, and Tony Stark sold
it. You name it the Baxter Building.
There you go.
RTD wanted to be RDJ.
But I mean, getting that scene, I in rewatching the episode and seeing little things here and there, I didn't realize that you were saying earlier before the episode aired, Rob, that Neil Patrick Harris, that was actually him juggling. That wasn't
oh yeah,
some David Bowie stunt.
Wasn't a David Bowie thing, yeah.
It was something like that. But getting to see him do those things, but him juggling the white and red, standard, what is it? The beanbag balls. And then it's showing up later on in the episode. I'm like, that's going to be something we're going to see a lot of, if people are now going to get back into juggling, I guess, or whatever. But I think that getting to see a lot of nods to some old historical concepts, but also just the concept of play in general, and the social commentary that here and there about him saying all people are interested in now are canceling each other, and that whole undertone,
wanting to be right.
Mm-hmm.
So he made everyone right. Yeah.
I mean, it's so well done. I think every single episode, there's always a message, right? There's always a message RTD likes to put in to everything that he makes, and he does it for a reason. And I think this was a pretty fascinating one in the way that it was presented. And I do find it weird but why do we think that the toy maker wanted him to regenerate? Because he says, I played the first game with the first Doctor, I played the second game with the second Doctor. and now it's time for me to play the third game with the third Doctor. I mean, that wasn't a pre-established rule, right? Like,
No, remember how earlier we talked about RTD and contrivances? It's like, well, we've almost run out of the Disney money. We need to regenerate in the next few minutes. That was good. I'm a cynic.
The game keeps going on. Yeah, I know. It's like, how long has that game been going on? And then also the mentioning of the timeless child at some point in the 3 as well. It's like, and the fact that the toy maker has said point blank, I have been messing with your history, like your specific history.
Jigsaw your timeline.
And I've jigsawed together. You know, does he mean jigsawed pieced together, or does he mean jigsawed like cut apart? Like, and
as
then
cut apart and mixed up. I mean, that kind of explains Timeless Child. It explains the 8th Doctor in the telemovie saying that he's half human on his mother's side. It explains, you know, the Virgin New Adventures, where the Doctor is a reincarnation of another Time Lord historical figure. It just all sorts of things. So the Doctor truly is a multiversal character now, because his history doesn't matter. And I mean, it never did. Because in classic Who, people came up with things all the time. They didn't worry about continuity as much as we do today.
Right. And why do you think that is? Like, why do you think that's...
What I think we...
Why do people care about continuity now?
Yeah.
You can rewatch episodes. You don't have to wait for the BBC to air it again. You can rewatch it at will whenever you want. And so, so the last 30 years, continuity has become a much bigger thing ever since home video. I mean, you saw it first with Star Trek, but that's just the technology we can.
Yeah.
And continuity's gotten so important in so many other shows these days.
Well, people, you never have a fan that's upset when there's more so than when you don't have continuity.
Hashtag the Valiard. Yeah. I mean, But the whole time I was like, this, like, did the toy maker come first or did Q come first? Toy maker had to.
Oh, toy maker.
Oh, yeah.
Right?
Q didn't come out until, when did Next Gen come out? Was it 87?
Yeah, it was way later, like
87 or 88. Toy maker was in black and white.
So our subject in the Trek track could probably answer that question a lot better than we can.
Yeah.
Are they
I'll
on
send
the
a ministerial request to Starfleet.
I just think that, you know, it's so interesting that, you know, he basically RTD just like retconned everything and like it was all the time.
It's a license to just be like, from now on, whenever anyone tries to get him on continuity, that's the toy maker.
It's the toy maker every time. That's
it gives you something other than just you're falling back on the Doctor lies.
Well, it's interesting because it's like, you know how the joke's always been like the answer to things is always, it's timey-wimey. Like, so is that the toy maker made timey-wimey? Is that that's what
timey-wimey?
He did it, like, you know, it's very interesting that is a thing. And I think what's really even more fascinating is that we have these obscure abstract concepts or beings infiltrating the Doctor's world, right? So like in the pseudo gridlock episode, whatever, not gridlock, the Nightmare Train. What was the last episode? Was it the Meep? It was
the one in between.
The one where they were in the space station.
Yes.
The one on the spaceship.
The one where on the spaceship.
I can't remember the title. Yeah.
The Blue Yonder, that one.
Oh, yeah, Wild Blue Yonder.
So in the Blue Yonder, we have, you know, this outside force / creatures, right, from the darkness of the abyss of nothing, of the end of time, end of space, or whatever. And then now you have the toy master, and you have, you know, the meat fling with the mentioning of the Shadow Proclamation and the mentioning, you know, of policing the
boss. That's
the boss. So it's like, I can see how that theory would posit to be true, that, there is an outside force. It's on the edge of something. It's on the edge of nothingness. I mean, the Doctor has gone to the edge of things multiple times. I mean, Tennant's character has gone to the edge,
It's on the edge of glory. That's all I've got to say about that. Sorry.
Right.
So let's talk about Shurigawa.
Oh man, what an entrance!
I mean, my God.
This is the new Doctor?
This is the new Doctor.
Okay. So I just have to say, was it just perfect before we talk about him that Tennant's last words at the Doctor were going to be Alonzi?
Yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah.
No, I loved that. It was so much better than, what did he say?
I don't want to go.
I don't want to go, which like my heart just like
I know
left its body. And at least this time it was like, okay, here we go again.
Yeah, exactly.
And it was very but for them to like separate out and in the way that they did, and then say, okay, I push, like they're giving birth like to each other. It's like, is this how like Gallifreyans are born?
Yeah.
I mean, we don't know. There's no real answer to that we don't know how Alan Gallifrey.
And yes, Christina, he is.
It would make sense that he just like like a cell like divides himself.
Yeah.
I mean, he gave Neil Patrick Harris a run for his money just in the last little bit that he was in.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, he did. You can feel the energy just flowing from him.
Oh, he's a great actor. He's a lot of fun.
He's amazing. I mean, he's obviously younger. He's definitely got that like young Matt Smith, like David Tennant, 15 years ago, like vibe. But in a different kind of way. I think he's more fun. Like he just wants to have fun. And has this like desire to grasp life a little bit more. And I think like with some of the, spoilers, some of the like the trailers of the Christmas special with him dancing, in the nightclub, like getting to see that side of the Doctor, that youthfulness, that, excitement is still there. But then that's juxtaposed against like Tea Time with the Doctor, at the very end where they're having, David Tennant's having lunch. So, getting that side of things and seeing, it put against each other to see that he is multifaceted. He has stuff going on. And I love that the jukebox is the favorite part. Like, I want to know what's on the jukebox.
What do you think of the bi-generation?
Well, I mean, we were talking about this before it's aired, but I said that something like this had to have happened before. Like, sure, why not? What's the deal with that? And Rob, you were telling me something that I didn't know about bi-generation. Can you share?
Well, and Travis, this is why I haven't shown your comment yet, because in the classic series, in the episode Largopolis, the Fourth Doctor's last episode, there is a character called the Watcher. And he appears periodically throughout the episode to warn the Doctor of things or to talk with the Doctor. And then at the end, when the Doctor falls off the tower, the Watcher comes in and it's revealed that the Watcher has been the Doctor all along, kind of a mid-regeneration version of the Doctor. Like he fades into Tom, there's a change, and then we have Peter. So futzing around with regenerations is not a new thing. So that's why I could accept the bi-generation, because weird stuff has happened before with the Doctor's regenerations.
Yeah. Well, I mean, like the whole like if the Tyler child was not the toy maker, and if it was true, right? I expect him to do that. I know, right? But generate on demand. I think that, like, you know, with the Timeless Child, one of the things, you know, about the Timeless Child is that there's these constant regenerations, and that they're the origin of the Doctor's ability to regenerate, right? So at least that was, you know, some one-off lines, right, from the Flux era, from that whole series. And while the toy maker jigsawing together, you know, everything that's happened to him to this point, it's like, okay, like, in a weird way, this is the only thing that would have made sense, you know, like that would have been able to get back to nuts and bolts. And I think that's what RTD really wants to do. He wants to get back to nuts and bolts. He wants to get back to the romping, to the having the fun, the you know, but also still doing other things with the universe. Yeah.
I think that's a very
That's a pretty solid point, Christina. I absolutely agree with that. I think that it's when you get into the nuts and bolts of what RTD what he does well, right, is that he's great at long story arcs, right? He's great at leaving breadcrumbs. He's great at individual episode writing, but he's also great with bigger ideas, but still keeping like the main framework of what we love about the show true, which is that it is a show about going into space and time and having fun and enjoying yourself. And it takes itself seriously, but not all the time. Like, there's a time for seriousness, and then there's a time for
fun.
And a time for fun. And I think that this last episode hit the nail on the head, is that, you know, the reason why the viewership, especially of this last episode, was like crazy, right? Mm-hmm. It was like double what the first one was, and has been compared to other, you know, releases and pilots and first appearances. And, you know, this so far has been one of the higher top rated viewed shows, and not just because it's on, you know, Disney, but because of the content. You know, it's because it is going back to the core of what a lot of people felt like the show walked away from. So I think it's going to be really exciting. I think it's smart of them to release what they have released, in the way that they've released it. And I think that if we go back and we watch the last couple episodes, that we're going to see a lot of things we missed. That
in retrospect, there's going to be a lot.
Yeah, I foresee that being such a big thing. And, you know, the things that they've included intentionally, like the fact that there's TARDIS.
I don't know if we can use the Roman plural of TARDIS.
Like,
why not?
Why not? What do you call them? What do you call them? What do you call them? TARDISes is. I don't like it. Or maybe it's just TARDIS, like fish. Like, you know, like how fish versus fish.
TARDISes
is no, I don't like it. I hate it.
Cinnamon.
I'm curious to see it. Like, is this TARDIS a new? Like, it's a copy, but it's not 100% a copy, because again, the jukebox.
Yeah.
In it makes you wonder.
Did it still have the coffee machine?
Yeah, I don't know. And the different subtle changes, that the fact that it has a ramp now, like, I really hope Shirley gets to go. It would be really cool. But I mean, just the different chain target. Yeah, I don't like it. I like it written. I don't like saying it. I don't know if I like it. But, you know, now that we've got this split and this divide, the fact that Ncuti's doctor is so kind and patient with himself and hugging himself, like, that's all the doctor like really needed, just like an inner child hug, like, was like all the feels. You know,
the doctor raises a point. The doctor never really stopped. And especially after the Time War, he's got to be suffering from some pretty severe PTSD.
oh yeah.
So we have the first, I guess, like the first mentally healthy.
Well, I was saying that's why Shooty's Doctor is so fun, is he's finally gotten over all the baggage from the what was the phrase? The Ninth Doctor was the man who regrets, and then the man who forgot. Do you remember all that? 9, 10, and 11. They had
Doctor was the man who regrets, and the 11th Doctor was the man who forgets. From the 50th anniversary.
No, that's me.
You're the man who regrets?
Forgets.
Okay. Forgets what?
Who
What
are you
talking about?
What?
Hi, I'm Angie.
This is really late for Angie, guys.
Yeah, it is.
Well,
but I think that we're in for a wild ride, and I think the energy just in the few last minutes of Shooty being on the stage, and we're just so delightful. First of all, how awesome is his smile? Let's just pause all that for a minute. He is the greatest smile. Just like so excited to be there. It almost reminds me of when Tennant first came forward, when the first few episodes of Tennant, the first few episodes of Eccleston, and the I would say it wasn't until maybe the third or fourth episode for Matt.
I remember you did not like Matt Smith.
I know. But I was not a fan. But I get why people like him, and I respect it. But I think that getting that youthful quality back, in the Doctor, and seeing it, and just I love how he just full on accepts the fact that he's walking around in his undies in a shirt and this tie and the shoes. It was just great. It was just great. It was so much fun. And I do think it's almost appropriate that he almost ditched them. I gotta go.
Almost.
Right? And I think that that's going to be something that we're going to see. Is he doing it to run away from who he was, or is he doing it because it feels like he can live his life and go everywhere, to quote, 14. So, I think that we're in for a wild ride. I think it's going to be a lot of fun.
He's the first Doctor with a permanent mustache.
Really?
He's a permanent mustache?
Oh, wow.
I was hoping it wasn't.
No,
that's kind of disturbing.
Yeah, I didn't.
He had it in we regenerated with it. He was born with it. And he has it in the clips we've seen from the Christmas episode. And he has it in the pictures we've seen from his season.
I do think it's interesting that so far that what we've seen, his outfit has not been set in stone. They've even said that his outfit's going to change a lot, which I'm actually really excited about.
From boxer briefs to something else. Yeah. I can't imagine
his costume was his pants.
Oh, okay.
I don't know if they're going to go with the same
That's the overarching theme of the first season, is him getting pants.
Right.
All I want is a stupid pair of pants. So McGroody want pants too.
Sorry, Karen.
I apologize to everyone.
Mustache Doctor. Yeah, this is definitely a new hashtag. I think that it's going to be really fun to see where this is going to go. Residual regeneration, clothing change. Yeah. But it didn't that's the thing though. This is the first time I think in a while that the clothing's changed, right? Because
only time
they always appear in the previous Doctor's outfit.
Yeah.
And I missed that.
I missed that too with Jodie to Tennant. I really did.
Yeah.
I thought it was really weird that happened the way that it did,
Mm.
I wonder if that's going to be something that's explained or written its way around, at some point.
That's what's happening. They're writing their way around it.
Maybe, I don't know. I mean,
He-
the other
he-
question
he-
is, how long are they going to sit? How long do you predict them sitting on the unit show and on Tenet 14 hanging out with Donna? Like, how long they're going to just sit on that? Are they going to sit on it? I feel like they're going to sit on it for a whole season. I think we're not going to
on the first one. We've been teased / promised the unit show for so long. I'm not going to believe it actually exists until I finish watching an episode.
Right.
So,
But then does it really truly exist, or is it just a special?
yeah.
Well, I would hate that. Oh, God, I would hate that. I would hate
So
it.
the second, when the split regeneration happened, and again, I'm a horrible, heartless cynic, and I need the inner child hug. I was like, oh, if the ratings tank again, they can just wheel David Tennant back out, and they can explain why he's older because he's been aging in real time with Donna.
Right.
And we have this popular doctor again. Look, everyone.
Look, he's there.
He's right here.
I mean, that's the thing.
Yeah.
It's really weird, like what they're going to do with it.
Out.
Well, I mean, here's the thing. He's contracted to do one more season of Good Omens, and then they're canning the show. So we know we're not going to probably see him. So we're not going to see him in 2024. I mean, so everybody give up your hopes now, because of that, because of his filming
It's a great way to put him on the shelf.
It is. It is a great way to put him in, his little picnic.
As much as I love David, I hope he does not come back. Because he's been, I mean, he was the Doctor twice. And not just as in coming back for like a multi-Doctor episode. He's literally been two versions of the Doctor.
Yeah.
This way he can stay as 14, and it's a way around, because they've sort of struggled in the past with the multi-Doctor episodes of, we see the regeneration, and then 20 years later, why do you look different? This will sort of explain that away, and so you don't have to do like with the curator to explain why Tom Baker looks the fourth Doctor is radically older than the last time we saw him. We can have a Doctor who's just sort of aging naturally. And for the 75th anniversary, David Tennant can show up and you have an explanation.
That he's that old.
Yeah. Because if the show's still around and he's still alive, they're going to bring him out.
Yeah.
Maybe.
But I mean, I think
he's the new Tom Baker.
If Shudy's era doesn't do well, right?
No.
Which I don't see happening. But if it doesn't do well, I mean, BBC, from the sounds of it, this is a last ditch effort to keep it.
This is very much the last.
So, I mean, I know they don't want to get rid of their cash cow, but at the same time, like
if it's no longer giving milk, it's not much for a cash cow.
Right, time for the glue factory. But like, I think it's at that point. But now that they've seen that, Disney money is Disney money. Disney money's great, but what'll happen to it, what it'll look like, where's it going to go, and then you can tell that that they're focused not on like show and show development, but on product that they do so well is there too, or you're really old and they could want Davros. I mean, why not? Davros can walk now, so anything's possible.
Before we go, I want to take a little bit of time to talk about what I have in the background here, which is David Tennant's as the 14th Doctor's first story that was serialized in the Doctor Who magazine, and this is the collection. I know we talked about the past week that I thought I wasn't going to get this till March, but apparently I got it now. And it's called Liberation of the Daleks. And it literally takes off right after the Doctor regenerates. And
so it's in between for those.
Yes, in between Power of the Doctor and the Children in Need special.
Mm-hmm.
And it's really good. The Doctor appears in 1966 during a football game, which is then invaded by Daleks. But they're not real Daleks. books, and that's all I'm going to tell you.
We'll have to read it. Check it out.
You'll have to read it, but it's really good.
Okay.
And Angie, I know you said you wanted to borrow it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So can I read it first?
Read it before
Yeah. I licked it.
Well, I can't thank everybody enough for joining us and sticking around. It's been fun talking about the Giggle and giggling our way through this review of the episode. You're welcome, Andy. But I just want to say thank you to our fans. Thank you to everyone who's watched us. We are going to, I know we talked about the Giggle episode specifically, and then we also have mentioned our individual reviews, but we are looking forward to possibly reviewing all three all together as we work our way into the Christmas special. I know we'll be back to review the full first Goblin amazing episode of Shooty, and to chit chat with everybody as we move into the holiday season. So thank you so much to our fans. Thank you to those who stuck around to watch this. If you're viewing this after it is aired, please feel free to leave a comment. We are very active on our social media, and we would love to have you join in on the conversation and the love of all things BritTrack. So from our home to yours, and before we sign off, is there anything else that anyone wants to share?
Viewing party on the 25th at our house.
Nice.
You just have to figure out where we live.
I know, right? Well,
Angela, challenge accepted.
Well, as we move into January into 2024 and get ready for our next year's season, please be on the lookout for updates about our panelist application in order to be a panelist with us. We'd love to have fans join us and be a part of the conversation. If you ever have an idea or recommendation for a panel as well, we're going to put out our panelist suggestion form. So if you have a panel topic that you'd like to cover, please feel free to fill that out. Please note that this next year will be Doctor Who heavy, as we are going to celebrate the 60th anniversary in 2024. So we're looking forward to have a lot of programming and a lot to offer to the wonderful fans at DragonCon. Again, you can find us.
We are planning on having more live stream events coming up the next year. So we do have one that we're working on. What is it, Angie?
Austin and Hallmark.
Austin and Hallmark.
You just have to schedule it.
Yeah, we've got.
This is a busy time of year, y'all.
Yeah. It's probably not going to be
understand,
which is
absolutely.
I think it's going to happen if our two panelists are available next week after Christmas.
Nice. So we're looking forward to doing another live stream. If you have a topic or suggestion for anything that you would like us to review or that you'd love to be a part of, feel free to email us at any point in time. You can email us at britishmedia@dragoncon.org. And again, we love you, we appreciate you, and we hope you stay safe this holiday season and enjoy some family and fun, and maybe even watching the Doctor Who Christmas special. So from our household to yours, we'll see you next time, and thanks for watching. Bye, guys.
Happy holidays.
Happy holidays.
Happy holidays.